It's all I wanna do.
Hello and welcome to a 1981 Toyota Starlet. The Toyota Starlet is one of my favorite Toyotas ever made. Why is that? Well, it's of the boxy hatch era, right? You have the Volkswagen Rabbit, you have the Dodge Omni GLH. You have these cars that all had a very similar shape, but all had very different characteristics. And this one in particular is special because one, it weighs 1,900 pounds. Two, it has an F22 S2000 engine in it. And the weirdest thing of all, it's rear-wheel drive. So it's 1,900 pounds, naturally aspirated, high revving four-cylinder, revving almost to 9,000 RPM. Also, while we're in the middle of this conversation, in the comment section below, let me know what platform similar to this you would choose to do an S2000 swap in. Let me know what you guys think. Now, what's really great about it is that it has the stock S2000 transmission, the manual. So Danny, the owner of this car, basically found this shell for like 500 bucks. And then he basically, in a nutshell, very short form of this story, traded it for a DSM. Basically, he found this on, I was like, hey, you wanna do a straight trade? And he said, absolutely. So he got the Starlet. He was gonna do the E86 engine in this car, but then he was like, you know what? Crash S2000, let's make it happen. So he basically made things work and retrofitted a few things. The S2000 gauge cluster is actually in the car, which is really neat. And for some reason, it almost fits perfectly. There are a little bit of edges on the end that have some gap, but overall, it's very, very well done. The dash is a little beat up, everything, but you have to remember this was basically a shell when he found it that had no love. Nobody really was out there to help him out. Now, quick disclaimer, the transmissions synchros are a little funky right now. So in between shifts, I am gonna be taking a beat in between to keep the transmission alive. So if I'm shifting slow, that's why, but we're still gonna rev it out, make it clear. Now we also have Scion FRS seats or Toyota GT86 seats in the car right now. If you can see, they made custom brackets for it, and you do sit kind of high, but in all these hatches, like these economy hatches at the time, you always kind of sat high. Now, the Starlet has an amazing legacy because it's one of those engine swap wonders, right? A lot of people put every motor imaginable. I've seen 2Js in these things. I've seen rotaries in these, especially down in Puerto Rico. Shout out to Puerto Rico's car scene. It's amazing. And also you have the retro mirrors on the hood. You got hood pins, you know, get rid of the latch because he had to get rid of the hood latch to make room for the radiator. Now, another note, we got our crank windows here. This is a very similar interior you'd find in like the same Corolla of the era. The Corolla, the E86 is very similar. The chassis is very similar as well. This actually has Fortune Auto 500 coilovers for the E86 put on this. So it still handles fairly well, but he actually uses this for roll racing here at Ice Cream Cruise in Iowa, which is fantastic. And it's interesting because the S2000 is a light enough car as it is. Now then you strip it even more, make this hatch rear-wheel drive. Yeah, it's insane. Even in fifth gear, I'm able to hold some momentum and go around the track. In order to start this car, it's a super intricate way. I'm not gonna give it away because you'll try and steal it. Basically, it has a 4-step process on how to start it. All right, 40-mile-an-hour roll. We're gonna try her out. never driven a car this light with it being rear-wheel drive. It's super peculiar.
VTEC.
This thing is so nuts. This is more fun than an S2000. What world am I living in right now? The whole back end of this thing, and I mean the entire back end of this thing, starts getting swirly. And spinning in a car with this short of a wheelbase is something that I rarely feel. Because the Dodge Omni GLH I drove a while back was front wheel drive, and that thing had these really unequal length axles in the front, so it yanked me all over the road. God dang it, dude, I can't control this thing. This has some rear wheel drive spinning, but it's actually controllable. Yeah, you can never sell this to the general public. Like if Honda one day was like, we're gonna build a rear wheel drive hot hatch, and it was 1,900 pounds. Yeah, no. And a big question I always asked people back in the day was, okay, the EG hatches, the EK hatches, even the CRX, I always asked, how come nobody rear wheel drive converts them? And people would always be like, oh no, that's just too uncontrollable, like you would never do that. And now I completely understand. If this thing was turbo and high horsepower and all this kind of crazy stuff, it wouldn't make any sense. It's better to just go full all-wheel drive when it comes to the CRV transmission and stuff like that. Turbo hatch, but since it's so light, it doesn't matter, dude. This is one of my favorite Honda experiences I've ever had. It's so funny how natural this feels, but unnatural at the same time, because you know, it was never meant to go this fast. This was an economy car, right, for the most part. Now that I've seen like some other swaps in these things, no wonder people have such a hard time getting them down the track sometimes because they're so light. This, I would not want this turbocharged. Dead serious. Like, this is one of those cars, would not want this turbo. This is perfect. It hooks up enough. It feels great. It stops in time. The brakes are good. It utilizes all the right parts. The coilovers are great. It sits pretty. And it's just a looker, man. It looks fantastic. It's so rad, dude. Anyway, what do you guys think about a rear-wheel drive F-Series Toyota Starlet? Who would have thought, right? What an amazing build. This thing is just fun. It spins a little bit, but it spins pretty straight as long as you're smart about it, right? And on that note, huge thanks to Danny for letting me drive his car. I absolutely adore it. This is his baby, right? He loves this thing. It's fantastic. So what do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comment section below. It's so much fun! Oh my God! This video is brought to you by Patterson Car Care. Get double of premium original detail product for half the price. Head over to PattersonCarCare.com or go to the link in the description below.